So, good morning, everyone. It's time once again. First of all, welcome to yoga this morning. This is Thanksgiving week, and traditionally in our yoga classes, we celebrate with a Thanksgiving tea meditation. If you're joining us now for the first time, I invite you to pause here and make yourself a cup of tea or any kind of warm beverage that you would enjoy for our opening meditation. Bring it back and make yourself comfy on your mat. And also, wait just a minute. So for today's practice, we're going to do a good bit of restorative today because we have some wonderful readings for this season. So I'm going to invite you to have 2 folded bath towels and a nice firm pillow here to snuggle with and to make you more comfortable. And you'll also need a strap or sash if you have one, a necktie, anything that's you can use. You can use actually a folded hand towel, which I will show you here, which I happen to have laying on my massage table, which you can hold like this to create longer arms for your leg work. So a strap or a towel, 2 folded bath towels, and a pillow. So if you don't have those things, you can pause here, go get your tea, your pillow, your towels, your strap, and I'll see you in a minute. So let's get started. So I'm going to ask you this morning to begin by just coming to a comfortable seated position. Usually we start laying down. Today we're going to start sitting up, and that's where these towels might come in handy for you. You can fold them. I'm going to show you how to fold them. So you fold them like a yoga blanket. So just pretending this is your big old yoga blanket. See the shorter ends. I'm going to take the shorter ends together. And then you have this configuration. And so the shorter ends now are at the top and bottom. So we'll take the top, fold it down toward the bottom. And then we'll have a rectangle like this. And from here, we can take the short ends once again together. Fold it like this to have our smaller rectangle. So the front of the rectangle will be a little folded under, a little rounded side. This is a nice end to perch your bottom on right here. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm sitting on a bolster, but I'm going to sit on this just to give myself a little more height and see if I can sit here without falling off of it. And here we are. So coming to a comfortable seated place. Now if you're sitting here, the next step is, if your thighs are feeling clutchy or graspy here, a little pinched, take your other blanket, roll it up like so, put it under the outside of one thigh. You can take your pillow, the other side, put it there, and that way you can rest your thighs down toward the ground. You won't have the grasping feeling in the groin or your thighs. So go ahead and make yourselves comfy. So we're sitting here now and we're comfortable in our seated place, and we have our tea close by. Hopefully you brought your nice cup of warm tea with you. I'll show you what I have this morning. I have this little teapot, which is one of my favorites. I have a little tea in there, which I'm going to pour for us in a moment. And I have this wonderful tea bowl made for me by a friend who's a potter, Phyllis. On the front it says breathe, which is really cool. Good reminder to breathe. And I'll be using that for our meditation this morning. So as you're comfortable in your seat, settle in. Notice if there are any adjustments you need to make right off the bat. Right out of the gate here, just notice how you're feeling. And if you're comfortable now, let's close our eyes if that's good for you. If it is not, I invite you to cast your gaze softly down. Keep your eyes open, but just soften your gaze. And as we're here, we'll notice the sounds around us. So begin to listen. Notice what you're hearing. Just listen here this morning. this practice of gentle listening is to prepare us for our time later when we're very quiet, or times during the day when we stop and notice what we're hearing. It prepares us to hear the voice of God within, that gentle whisper. Maybe it's a loud yell in your ear, but you can hear the louder sounds, quieter sounds. And as we listen to the sounds around us, notice how you feel in your body. And gently opening your eyes, taking a moment to look around and notice where you are. In this season of gratitude, take a moment to realize that sometimes we take these things for granted, and that everything around us is sacred. This is our life. This is our walk. The things that we've around us that we've chosen are part of our spirits, our souls, our minds. They make us the people we are. They are examples of our unique constitution. So what is around you? What do you surround yourself with? And we'll come back to center now. And as your eyes are open softly, begin to think about the space around you. Notice that you live and move in this space. There's air all around you. There's a feeling in the air around you. What do you notice when you think about this space you occupy this morning? Can you become aware or imagine God's presence in this space, seeing you, knowing you fully, loving you, and holding you this morning? Whenever this is that you're practicing, you are seen, you are known, you are loved, and you are held. How does that feel in your body this morning? And so we'll rest our hands on our knees now and become aware of our bodies sitting here. And beginning with the seat, allowing your hips to settle fully into your support of your blanket, your mat. And instead of thinking about your bottom being just stopping at the floor, imagine, if you will, those roots that really begin in the heart space and go down through your body, down into the center, through the center of your body, down into the ground, and connect you to the center of the earth, that force of gravity that draws us to groundedness. It's almost a sense of God just pulling us down, just inviting us to sit in security and love and safety and groundedness in his hands, in the palm of his hands, in his lap. Safe, secure, grounded. And out of that safety and security, we can grow. So the growth happens as we begin to notice the spine, as we gather in our abdominal muscles a little to lift. The spine lifts, the back muscles support. Think about those long muscles on each side of your spine, engaging, supporting the lift of the spine. Your heart opens here so the collarbones can broaden, your shoulders can broaden. You can even take your hands to your shoulders and pull the elbows back a little bit, but keep the shoulders soft. And then rest the shoulders down. Take your hands back to your knees, lift through your heart, shoulders stay soft. And think about the crown of your head lifting straight up, which means that you're straight up. Instead of thinking about lifting the chin here, we want to maybe think about lifting behind your ear so that's a straight draw up, lengthening the back of your neck, creating space. So what we're doing right now is creating space and strength, so that our organs can function, our lungs can function. Just closing your eyes now, we'll take a moment to breathe. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, if not, that's okay. Notice your breath moving in and out, easy, soft. If you'd like, begin to deepen the breath. Notice the breath sipping in through your nose like a sweet, yummy nectar going down the back of your throat into the branches of your lungs. Expanding your body, expanding the belly, the ribs, the heart. And then on your exhale, everything settles back into center. So take a few breaths like this, just breathing. On your inhale, resting into the thought that your body is expanding, creating that space we were talking about. Spine lifts, ribs open, heart opens. You might feel the arms begin to follow on the inhale. On your exhale, there's a settling into security and grounding in through the hips. The earth supports. You climb up the spine as it lifts, crown of your head lifts to the sky, and you're beautifully suspended there in center. And so as we're in this place, we're going to begin our tea meditation now. So notice where your tea is in your cup. And before you pick it up, I'm going to invite you to just look at your cup. I'm picking mine up so you can see, but you just look at your cup and you notice the shape, the contours, the color, the handle. Look at your cup. How does it look to you? What color is it? How do you feel when you look at it? Are you ready for that tea? And then as you just keep your eyes on your cup, I'm going to invite you to just listen. So I'm going to pour my tea so that you can go back and remember your pouring of your tea. Because our faith is incarnational, we give thanks for our senses. So we give thanks that we can see. We give thanks that we can notice all the color and contour and shape of this cup. And now we're going to listen and hear the water, the tea pouring. What do you hear? So picking up your cup now and holding it in your hands, how does the cup feel? Is it smooth? Is it bumpy? Can you feel the warmth of the tea moving through the cup into your hands? How are your hands this morning? Are they feeling stiff? Are they feeling ready to go? Strong, weak? How do they feel? So we give thanks in this moment for our sense of touch, our awareness of texture, temperature. So I invite you now to give your tea a sniff. We're going to give thanks for the sense of smell. So take a moment to take in a nice, sweet, deep breath of the fragrance of your tea. So what herbs created your tea? Where did they grow? Who tended them? Who picked them? Who harvested them? Who processed them? Whose idea was it to have a tea farm or make tea? Your tea just doesn't show up magically in those tea bags or in the package. Your tea has been on a journey. God has created this tea with fragrance and probably medicinal qualities. Amazing, isn't it? Everything that we have, there's something to be thankful for. The process, the fragrance, the taste, how it feels, the warmth, how it serves our bodies. So now we're going to take a sniff and begin to taste. So very mindfully take a sip. And as you swallow the tea, notice the flavor that rests on your tongue. And I'm going to allow a few moments here to continue to taste and smell and feel and give thanks for God coming to us in a body, in the body of Christ. God giving us these bodies to enjoy His creation all around us, to enjoy the sacred space where we live, where we move, where we have our being. Breathe. Gratitude. So taking a few more sips here. If you'd like to just ditch the rest of the practice and sip your tea for another 50 minutes or so, take your time. You don't have to do any of this. You can just sit there and enjoy. How yummy is that today? Just to be given the permission to enjoy your body, all of your senses. And look at the color of this teapot. This is a feast for the eyes as far as I'm concerned. Beautiful. All around us, things of beauty. So I'm going to finish my tea now. And whatever you are, whatever you're choosing in this moment, I'll share with you a book, a psalm from Psalms for Praying by Nan Merrill. This is her version of the Psalms, very beautiful. So the psalm I'll be sharing from this publication today is from Psalm 146. And I invite you to join me to allow this to wash over you this morning as you sip your tea. Praise be to you. Praise the beloved, O my soul. I will praise you with all my being. I will sing joyfully and with thanksgiving to you, heart of my heart. You gave birth to the universe, the heavens, earth, and sea, and all that is within them. You are ever faithful, bringing balance and harmony to earth, nourishment to body and soul. You free us from the bonds of fear. You give insight to those who would see. You lift up the faint-hearted, giving succor to those who weep. And watch over those on journey, sending guides and angels to lead the way. Oh, that we might become beacons of light to those in darkness. May you, who live forever in our hearts, loose the fetters of fear that bind us, that we might praise you always with free and joyful song. May it be so. Amen. Let it be so. So it is. But to continue our practice this morning, you can continue drinking your tea if you like. I'm going to come down off of my bolster. You can remain seated on your towel if you like. Get this out of the way. And sit back, and we'll take legs out in front. There we go. Legs out in front. Feet pressing out. So how is it this morning to stretch out your legs after you've been seated with your knees bent for a while? It's nice to have that relief. And so we'll sit up. Take your hands beside you. Sit up nice and tall. Once again, remembering to gather in your abdominals, lift through the heart, shoulders broad, hands out. And then take your toes up, feet are flexed. And then just very simply, with mindfulness, point through your toes and flex your feet. I'm going to take this nice and easy, back and forth. Breathe. Good, just back and forth, up and down, and then circle the ankles. Breathing here and other way. Breathe. Good. Good. So sitting up tall here, we'll lift the right knee, interlace fingers under the knee as you sit up as straight as you can. Keep the heart lifted, belly is in. Lift your foot up, and then on your inhale, we'll press out. On your exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, press out. Exhale in. It doesn't have to be high. It's mostly for the benefit of your knee to lubricate the joint. And press out. And we'll take it in. And one more time. Press it out and in. So in keeping with our meditation this morning of our senses, feeling everything in your body today and looking at your body with gratitude for everything this body does. Oh boy, such wonderful things. So let's take the opposite knee up, sit up tall, press your leg out. Foot presses out, hello, in, press it out. You can press out on the inhale, draw in on the exhale if that suits. But just keep your breath easy, sweet, whatever you need for it to be right now. Notice your breath. We'll take it out this time, and then one more time. Take your leg out, press it out, lower it down, good, and rest. And then we'll come back on our hands, keeping our tummies lifted. Take the legs apart a little bit and shake them out. And just really rotating from your hips here. You can even take your hands and give your legs a little encouragement there, little presses up the side of your legs. It's good for acupressure points also. You just want to press into the side, down the outsides of your legs. And then we'll go to the inside of our legs, press out. Let your legs be real floppy and just press out. Let them respond to the pressure of your fingers. Opening up energy centers here, lines of energy, and we'll reach down and give ourselves a little massage of the legs here. Breathe. Notice how that feels. You can even close your eyes. Waking up your skin, waking up muscles. Come around behind you with a little gentle fist, rocking motion. Waking up our tush. And breathe. Good. And then we'll sit back, take the knees up, spread the knees out, and we'll just rock over side to side. Let the opposite hip come up. And we'll rock to side, windshield wiper for the legs and hips here. And take your legs as wide apart as you need. Good. And sitting up tall, let's take the legs out again. We'll pick up the right knee, hold the right foot in the left hand. So you're as if you're sitting in a chair. Just going to sit up here and rock your leg back and forth. And breathe. This foot is flexed. Notice that I'm not pulling the foot toward me like this. You want to flex your foot. Have the top of your foot in line with your shin. So you're keeping your leg in alignment. Press it back and forth, opening up in the hip. Here. Breathe. Good. And then we'll take our leg up as far as you feel comfortable. Just sit up tall, take a little stretch here. Shoulders are resting, tummy's lifted. Opposite foot, you see my toes up there. A little energy going out through the long leg. And then release, stretch it out, and set it down. And we'll take other knee up. Take the foot in your opposite hand. Hand on your knee or wherever you're comfortable. So if you're not comfortable with your hand on this foot, you can always take it underneath the shin, wherever you are. If you're here, that's great. Wherever you want to be, it's good. Rocking back and forth. Remember that your long leg has some energy. You're pressing out through the sole of the opposite foot. Breathe. So if you'd like, closing your eyes here, noticing how that feels in your body for you today. Are you feeling any place that's maybe stuck a little bit? Think about expanding with the breath, allowing your body to respond by opening and softening, easy, gentle, and then come back to center, and we'll hold it up just for a second. Sit up tall, press out through the opposite legs, shoulders are soft, breathe. And then supporting under your legs, stretch it out and set it down. And once again, we'll just take some little rock and roll for the legs here. So let's come to cross legs. Once again, if you want to put the towel underneath one of your thighs, you can roll it. Just press it, let your thigh rest on that one. And take your pillow on the other side if you're using one towel underneath. So you have this good base of support for your seated postures here. So we'll sit up tall, take a breath. On your exhale, we'll rock to the right, press around, and come back. So it doesn't have to be big. We're just waking up that the grounding perineal area, the root chakra, the root energy center. So we're going back to that sense of being grounded, gravity, bringing us to a sense of safety, groundedness, security here. And then we'll go the other way. So, woo, take it around. You can coordinate your breath if you'd like. Inhaling back, exhaling forward or the other way around, whatever feels right to you. Just an easy circle. Being mindful of your sit bones rocking around in a circle here, just circling that area. So then we'll come around to the front. And we're going to lengthen our sternum away from the belly button here. So we've got a long line here out through the crown of our head. So on your inhale, lengthen out and look up. Exhale, you're going to curl the hips under, round your spine behind you. Let your shoulders drop, let your chin drop towards your chest. So you're rounding your spine behind you. On your inhale, tilt forward, lift up, lift the heart, open your chest, look up, and exhale back. So if you've done cat and cow before on hands and knees, this is a seated cat-cow. This is cow as you lift up, cat as you rest back. Cow, inhale, exhale. Take it at your own pace. You can close your eyes here again if that's comfortable. Feel the motion in your body, noticing how your breath influences your movement, how it joins as one. This is that union between movement and breath. Nice and easy. And sitting up tall now. On your inhale, exhale here. Hands out, palms up. Take your thumbs behind you. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Chin drops to your chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, open. Exhale, chin down. Open. And exhale down. So stay here, give yourself a hug. Shoulders are soft. How is this feeling in your body today? As you notice your shoulders resting with gentleness on your hands resting on your shoulders. Yep. Shoulders are gently resting too. Chin drops to your chest, even as your spine stays lifted. And we'll take an inhale here. Swoop your arms out over your head, palms touch. And then lower down to your heart. And back to the knees. And let's take an opening through our throat. Take an inhale here. Exhale, tongue out, eyes glance up. Big face, way out there. And then soften your face. Take an inhale when you're ready. Exhale, eyes gaze at the forehead, tongue comes out. And soften. Inhale here. Tongue out, eyes up. Soften. Take an inhale, eyes closed, face soft. Exhale, tongue out, eyes up. And then soften your face. Notice the sweetness and quietness of the facial muscles. And we'll interlace fingers at our forehead and sweep across side to side, or even down over your head, down through the back of your neck. And here, massaging the back of your neck a little bit. Breathe all the way down the back of your neck with intention, softness in your fingers and the finger pads. Just press in gently to whatever pressure feels right for you. You might feel like you need a little more pressure today. Pulling down, opening your chest, and then we'll give the scalp a little massage. Breathe. All around the sides, your entire scalp, all around. Crown of your head. Breathe. And then your ears. Give your ears a little quick rub here. But take time to feel and notice. But inside and out, all around the edges. Feels good. I hope it does. And then we'll take the tops of our ears, pull straight up. Breathe. So you're still sitting as tall as you can. Middle of your ear, pull out. Breathe. And earlobe, let your elbows drop, pull down on your ears. Breathe. Good. Good, so let's interlace fingers, press your hands out, take them over your head. Breathe, press up. Shoulders are soft, down away from the ears. We don't want the shoulders hunched up. We want the shoulders to be wide. So if you need to take your arms out here, that's fine. If you can keep the shoulders relaxed and interlace your fingers, press the palms up, that's good. You can even take the hands down a little bit so that your shoulders aren't as crunched if you need to. Press up. Take a breath. Press up. And exhale, release. And we'll swoop our arms up again on your inhale. Exhale to your right. Let the arms float down. Take your twist around. The hips move, the ribs move, shoulders, neck, and head. And on your inhale, swoop your arms up to center again. On your exhale, other way, float the arms down. One arm comes behind, the other arm crosses to the opposite knee if that's accessible. The hip presses back behind you, the rib cage goes around, shoulders, neck, head, face. Breathe, sitting tall. Open the chest. And on your inhale, swooping up to center, palms touch, come down to the midline, down to your heart. Good. So now we're going to take our first restorative pose. So we'll take your pillow. This pillow we're going to use for underneath your knees. The towels we're going to use to do a gentle heart opener. So we'll take one blanket and unfold it so that it's like this, a long rectangle. And you'll fold it in thirds so that you have a little roll, like so, little roll. This piece will go, it's going to run down your spine. So you're going to put it lengthwise down the middle of your mat, like this, that way. And the other blanket, you can even leave just like it is, place it on the top. So it's almost like a T. This is for your head. This is going to be for underneath your spine, the long piece, and the pillow is going to go underneath your knees. I'm going to demonstrate this, and then I'm going to sit up, and you can stay there. So I'm going to turn with my back to the towel that's going to go under my spine, so that it just butts up against my butt. You know what I'm saying? It just butts up against the butt. You don't sit on it. You're going to sit right in front of it. The pillow you're going to have ready to get underneath your knees. I like to press it up against the tops of my thighs here so that it's going to be more or less centered under my knees when I'm ready, but you can move it around as you need to. So we'll sit up tall. We're going to round back, just round back so that this towel lines up underneath your spine. The other towel is going to come underneath your head. I like to make a little roll in it so that it supports my neck. So as you lie back here, notice how you feel, and if your lower back feels pinched here, see how you feel. Listen to your body. If your lower back is feeling pinched, I invite you to shift your hips down toward the foot of your mat. So just kind of inchworm away, your rear end away from the towel, and it should help clear that up. Now notice how your legs are feeling and where the pillow is underneath your knees. What we're looking for here is support for your lower back. Your knees are going to be bent a little bit or a lot. Maybe you have 2 pillows. The point of this pose is to open the heart space. So as your spine rests along that blanket, the heart can open, and you can take your palms open, arms out to the side, just a little ways away from your body. See how that feels? If that's really comfortable, stay there. If you'd like to try taking your arms into goalpost, see how that feels with your palms facing up. It should be, hopefully, just a gentle broadening of the chest so that you're able to rest back and let the front body open. So if you're not comfortable there, you can always come out and just rest flat on the floor. You can leave your pillow under your knees if you want. Take the towels out, whatever is good for you. So as we rest here, we come back to our breath. You notice the ease of your breath. Notice how it feels with the heart lifted, the lungs lifted a little bit. Sometimes it's a little different to breathe this way. It might be more challenging, it might not be. It might feel like a great release for you, especially if you're in goalpost arms. Settle into a slow, easy breath. Take your thoughts and awareness to your spine now, and notice how the towel underneath your head, the towel underneath your spine fully supports you. And notice how your hips settle into the floor completely. The blanket under the pillow underneath your thighs or your knees fully supports you so that you can allow the thighs to rest. Allow your shins to soften and your feet. So this is a very gentle, restorative heart opener today. Because it takes an open heart to settle into a place of awareness and gratitude. I'm going to share with you today a reading from a book called Spiritual Literacy. It's reading the sacred in everyday life. It's really what we're doing here. You're resting in your own home. You're finding your body sacred, this time sacred. So I'll share with you this reading today by Ann Voscamp, and it's from her writing entitled The Awful Rowing Toward God. It's called Welcome Morning. There is joy in all. In the hairbrush, the hair I brush each morning. In the cannon towel newly washed, that I rub my body with each morning. In the chapel of eggs I cook each morning. In the outcry from the kettle that heats my coffee each morning. In the spoon and the chair that cry, "Hello there, Ann," each morning. In the Godhead of the table that I set my silver plate cup upon each morning. All this is God, right here in my pea green house each morning. And I mean, though often forget to give thanks, to faint down by the kitchen table in a prayer of rejoicing as the holy birds at the kitchen window peck into their marriage of seeds. So while I think of it, let me paint a thank you on my palm for this God, this laughter of the morning, lest it go unspoken. The joy that isn't share, I've heard, dies young. So where have you seen God in your home this morning? Did you cook an egg? Have you brushed your hair? Have you brushed your teeth? Have you seen the birds outside your window? Think back. Close your eyes. Where have you seen God this morning? In our tea ceremony, we saw God in our taste, our smell, our touch, our vision, hearing. The blessing of the sacred ordinary. For those things, we give thanks. So I'm going to invite you now to come off of your towel. When you do that, you're going to, if you will, roll onto your side. And you can take the towels off your mat. We're going to lay back down on our backs. So you can take off the towel that's under your spine and just leave the towel under your head if you'd like. Find your strap or your sash. Lay that next to you. And the first thing we'll do is very simply draw knees to chest as we lay back. This is a counter pose for the heart opener we just did. So we'll take our hands to our kneecaps, rock the knees in and out. Breathe. On your inhale, take soles of your feet up to the sky, up to your ceiling. What does your ceiling look like? Always there, protecting you from rain. And then flexing, pointing through your feet, circle out your ankles here. And on your next inhale, press the soles of your feet up strong. On your exhale, bend your knees, draw them and catch them into your chest. And then plant the soles of your feet on the floor and take your strap. So knees are bent here, and we'll unfurl your strap. Take it around the sole of your right foot. So you'll have one end of the strap in each hand, pressing the sole of your right foot up, making sure your hips are level here, not hiked up on one side. And we'll just press up, let your shoulders relax, just allowing the earth to press. Allow your shoulder blades to rest. That's what I want to say. There. Press up through the sole of your foot. So your entire back body is resting down. The hips are settled. Notice the sole of your left foot meeting the mat. Right foot presses up. So you have some energy through the right leg without jamming in your knee joint. You have a micro bend in the knee, but a sense of aliveness coming up through the muscles of your right leg. You can even reach and feel the right leg. Give it a little rub, press up. Wake it up there again. And then we'll take both ends of the strap in our right hand. Let your left hand drop out beside you. So come back to center here. Take a breath. On your exhale, right leg drops out to the side. Left knee drops open. Allowing the shoulders to broaden, your chest to widen. So take this to your place of comfort this morning, keeping both hips grounded. Belly in a little bit. Breathing here. As you notice the space you're creating, maybe in the inner thigh, wherever you feel this today, settle into it with a couple of breaths. And noticing the miracle of adaptation, of listening to your body. Your body's talking to you right now. This is where you live. This is where you function. This is where you live in sacred space. And on your inhale, take your leg up to center, bring that right leg back up, left knee comes up. Change hands on the strap, take your right hand down beside you, keeping your left knee bent. We're just going to drape the right leg across on the diagonal, pressing out strong through the heel. So you might feel this all along the outside of your right leg, the outer thigh. Breathe. Try drawing that leg towards you a little bit, see how that feels. Press your right hip down toward the foot of your mat, so you're pressing it away from your rib cage. Breathing here. And then coming on up to center, take your left foot up to meet your right, so both feet are pressing up. Notice now, as you press your heels up, if you feel a difference between the right leg and the left. What does it feel like to have worked that side and stretched it and breathed into it? So the other leg must be asking for a little love right now. So let's take the right foot out, bend your right knee, place the sole of your right foot on the mat. Feel the mat, receive your leg, your foot. And we'll press up to the sole of your left foot now. One hand on either end of your strap, shoulders are soft. Breathe and feel. If you'd like to close your eyes here, just breathe and feel. And your listening here is listening to your body. Listening to your breath. Allow your breath to sip in deeply through your nose, all the way down through your body. Imagine it filling up your belly, your pelvis, all the way up through your leg, out the sole of that left foot. And then we'll take the left hand to the strap. Your right hand comes down beside. So take a breath here. On your exhale, let your left leg drop out beside you. To the left side. Where are you feeling this? Where do you need to stop? How does it feel to ground both hips? Breathe. Let your right knee drop open. On your inhale, let's lift the left leg up to center. The right knee comes up to meet it at center. Change hands on your strap. Let your left hand now come down to the floor beside you. As your left leg drapes on the diagonal, just gently across your right leg. So the inner thighs are resting into each other. As you press out through the heel of your left leg, you can feel the entire left leg. So you might want to, again, take your left hand and just massage your left leg as it drapes across. Breathe. And then resting your left hand down, let's go back to our gratitude for our senses. As we rest here, our listening comes. And listening to what our body's telling us. Listening to our breath. Our seeing comes in our awareness of where we are right now. The sacred space where we press out through these bodies, creating space. Our tasting is tasting and seeing that how good can this pose feel? What kind of flavor does it have for you today? Our feeling every part of your body in this place. Where are you feeling it the most? Where does your breath need to go? And on your inhale, taking your leg back to center, we'll take both feet up in the strap again. Press up through your heels. And bend your knees, release your strap off to the side. And we'll roll over onto our side towards your screen. And take a moment here to rest. Breathe. And then we'll press up slowly. We'll come to all fours. And we'll come to all fours with knees in alignment with hips. Shins in alignment with your knees. Look down if you can see your feet. Move your feet so you can't see them, so that your shins are in alignment with your what? Your thighs. So your hands, fingers spread here, but you can take your hands out a little ahead if that's more comfortable. You can grab that towel, place your hands on the towel with your fingers draping over if you need some support. We'll just take a few more cat-cows here. So on coming to table on your exhale, rounding, curl the hips under around your spine, chin to chest. On your inhale, lengthen and lift. And exhale, round, hips under, back curls, shoulders press away from your ears, press the floor away from you, chin to chest. On your inhale, glide your heart forward, spine unfolds, gaze ahead. And exhale, come to table, tuck your toes under, and we'll press back gently into a down dog, where you can just tread out one heel, other heel, press back, both feet down, pressing back, tummy in, shoulders away from your ears, press into the pads of your fingers and isometrically away from you. Pressing your heels down, breathe long, deep breaths. Good, and then we'll come to all fours, take your right foot ahead. We'll go into just a sweet little lunge flow here, pressing through. Take an inhale forward. Exhale, shift your hips back, pick your foot up. And inhaling, climbing forward, pressing your foot in, lift. Very easy, very soft. Don't worry too much about it, just as long as it feels good this morning. Press. If you need that blanket underneath your knee, please take a moment to press it in. Just pull it in. Under your knee. And then we'll come back forward. Take your foot back to meet the other foot. Take other knee out, other foot out. Press forward. Inhale here. And exhale, flow back as you pick up your front toes. Press back. Inhaling forward, just rocking. Exhaling back, toes up, hips back. Long spine, inhale forward, last time. Press back. And inhale forward. Draw your foot back. Good. Wag your tail side to side in a way that feels good to you. And we'll take our pillow now. Let's take your pillow lengthwise on the mat ahead of you. We'll fold our blankets in half long ways like this. Put one on. You can keep the other one. Today we're going to take this blanket and put it on our shins. Tuck it behind your knees so you'll have a little support when you rest back. So widen your knees here. Take the pillow towards you. You can bunch it up underneath a little bit so you have a little height. And lengthen your spine. And then we're just going to drape our bellies over a pillow. So we have a little restorative child's pose here. You can take your hands, stack one hand on top of the other. Turn your head to one side and rest. So if you'd like to close your eyes there, just closing your eyes there for a moment, allowing your hips to really settle in towards your heels or onto that blanket. And breathe. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable. And then turn your head the other way to balance out your neck so you don't get a crick in your neck. And breathe. And then coming forward, take your hands under your shoulders, press up to all fours. You can take your pillow and blanket out. Take your knees together, take this other pillow or your blanket out. And we'll go back into a downward facing dog. So come to a table, tuck your toes under, press back to your down dog. Just give yourself a good stretch here. Press it out a little bit. And then walk your feet to your hands, keep your knees bent. Walk your hands back to your feet and notice that your weight is in the center of your foot.
Take your hands to your knees. Tuck your tail, round up slowly. Take your time. Come on up. Breathe. Good. And facing center. I'm going to do just a little crescent moon flow here. I'm going to be standing just for a little bit, just so that we can stretch our legs. So standing up nice and tall. Let's take an inhale here. Take hold of your right wrist, press the palm up. Take a breath, and then arc over to your left. And inhale center, change hands, press up, exhale, other way. And coming through center, we'll do it one more time. Press over, and then hold here a couple of breaths. Press out as far as you can through that opposite side to get that nice arc. The shoulders are away from your ears. Draw your tummy in to support your spine. Bend your knees a little bit maybe. Come on up, change hands. Press up, shoulders down. Take a breath. Your tummy draws in on your exhale as you press over to the side. Couple breaths here. And then coming on up to center, reach up. Take a breath here, maybe a little back bend. Swoop your arms out to the side, just fly down like Peter Pan into your forward fold. And so bending your knees, pressing your feet into the mat. Take your weight into the center of your feet. Hold one elbow, other elbow. Let the crown of your head just drop forward. Drop down to the floor. Now, if you should not have your heart below your head there, you need to come back. If you have high blood pressure that's not medicated, if you have any issue like glaucoma, pressure in your eyes, come on back up just to your knees so that you can stretch out this way. If you're in your full forward fold, elbow to elbow, hanging down, take your hands now down to your shins, wherever you are. Take an inhale, come up halfway, exhale, forward fold, and then inhale, bending your knees, swoop up, palms touch, little glance up, exhale out into five-pointed star. So we're just going to take the toes are out a little bit, angling out. Arms are lifted, moving your breath, using your breath there. Press out. Good. Good. So shining out here. Take your hands down. And we'll turn our toes to the right. Good. Maybe lengthening your stride a little bit here. Come to center. You want to make sure your hips are in center, facing front. And then we'll reach out over the right foot. Just reach out long to the side. Good. Top shoulder rolls back. Tummy's in. So see how you feel here, just reaching out. Then slowly lower your hand to wherever you're comfortable, as long as it's not right on your knee. You can come back. You can come down to your shin. I hear my hips popping back there. So long line from your belly button to your navel, your belly button to your sternum. That is a long way from your belly button all the way to your navel. Pull it up, reach up. So long line through the side body, reaching out and up. Ooh, yes. Good. Engage your thigh here, thighs lifted. Good. And pressing on up, come back to center. Hands down, turn your feet the opposite direction. Get a feel for where you are. Shoulders are easy. Hips facing forward. Take your arms out. And reach out now over that left foot. That's straight out. The toes are out to the side. Reach out long. Top hand comes to your hip. Roll the shoulder back. Hand comes down. So sometimes it takes some finagling and some wiggling to get in a place where you're comfortable, but you don't want to be bending forward from your hips. The hips are still in alignment here. So you're just leaning to the side, reaching up long. Long line from the heart, straight up through the arm, straight down through your arm. Long reach through the side body here. Breathe. Breathe. Good. On your inhale, come up. Both arms float out to the side. Take your 5-pointed star again. Take a breath. And exhale, dive forward into a straddle forward fold. So you can bend your knees a lot here. Take your hands to the ground. Maybe shifting side to side from one foot to the other. You can walk around to say hello to your right foot. And breathe. Walk over, say hello to your left foot. And breathe. And then back to center. We're going to heel and toe our feet together, or walk your feet together. Bend your knees and come down to resting on the ground. So we're going to lie back here in another restorative pose this morning. This is our last restorative pose before Shavasana. So we're going to come into a restorative version of Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together. And to do that, we will take one towel, roll it up. So you turn to lying sideways on your mat, and you'll take one under one side, rolled up, and the other one on the other side. So you're going to take your blanket this way, your towel, and roll it up like a Tootsie Roll here. Place it under your other thigh. And you can use your blanket under your pillow under your head if you would like. Whatever, as long as your neck is not distorted. I'm going to take my pillow out. And so we'll begin with our knees up. Roll back to lying down. Hold on to your blankets here, your towels. Roll back. Bend your knees. And then let your knees drop out to the side so that your thighs are resting on these blankets in a comfortable way. I don't have them all the way underneath my rear end. I just tuck them into the crease, tuck them to the outside of the crease of your groin there, right? So the outside of your thigh could just rest on them as you rest back. So coming to a comfortable place there, resting. Allowing the arms to open. Settling here, letting your thighs rest into the support of your towels. Maybe taking your head to the right and back to center, and head to the left and back to center. This is a reading from Ann Lamott. No, wrong person, wrong Ann. Ann Voscamp, who wrote this wonderful book, 1,000 Gifts. And in the season of gratitude, we don't really realize how deep the practice of gratitude is for us, how important it is for our joy, even in the face of really difficult circumstances. I'm going to share this writing with you because it's the secret. It really is. It's the secret that is sometimes hidden from us in all of our lives. We always look for the wonderful and lovely things to be thankful for, which is so important. But this gives us a glimpse into giving thanks to God no matter what. So I'm going to share this with you today. I'm going to invite you to maybe connect with those places in your life where you might not understand what God is doing, but realizing that God's will is always for our highest good. So let me share that with you now as you rest. As always, if you'd like to come out of this posture at any time, please do that. So from 1,000 Gifts by Ann Voscamp. From the bedroom window, I watch a shadow move across the lawn, move out along across our wheat fields. That is what a shadow is, an empty space, a hole in the light. Evil is that, a hole in the goodness of God. Evil is all that lacks the goodness of God, a willful choice to turn away from the full goodness of God to that empty of His goodness. I watch the gray shadows slink away over the hill,
the sun driving them east. All God makes is good. Can it be that which seems to oppose the will of God actually is used of him to accomplish the will of God? That which seems evil only seems so because of perspective, the way the eyes see the shadows. Above the clouds, light never stops shining. But what perspective sees good in death, and all the heinous crimes, and all the weeping agony, and all the scalding burn of this world? The sun rolls across the wheat warm. I lean against the windowsill and watch it. I hear the echo, truth words whispering down time's cavern, words that Julian of Norwich heard. See that I am God. See that I am in everything. See that I do everything. See that I have never stopped ordering my works, nor ever shall, eternally. See that I lead everything on to the conclusion I ordained for it before time began, by the same power, wisdom, and love with which I made it. How can anything be amiss? Perspective, how we see. And how should anything be amiss? I see her name on the stone, the 5 letters of my little sister's name on her gravestone. And I won't shield God from my anguish by claiming he's not involved in the ache of this world. And Satan prowls, but he's a lion on a leash. And the God who governs all can be shouted at when I bruise. And I can cry and I can howl. And he embraces the David hearts who pound hard on his heart with their grief. And I can moan deep that he did this. And he did. I feel him hold me, a flailing child tired in father's arms. And I can hear him soothe, soft. Are your ways my ways, child? Can you eat my manna, sustain on my mystery? Can you believe that I tenderly, tirelessly work all for the best good of the whole world? Because my flame of love for you can never, ever be quenched. That's a big dose of God's love today. The knowledge that God is big and God is in everything, God sees everything, and God is weaving it all together for our highest good. How does that feel for you today? Are there places in your heart where you just want to pound on God's chest and say, why? How does it feel to know that God hears, God cares, God can handle your grief, God can handle our sadness, our anger? And it's the act of thanksgiving that brings us healing. It's the act of thanksgiving that brings us joy. Where do you need that today? Sometimes those answers are hard. Sometimes we don't want to answer those questions. We can't, and it's okay. I want to tell you that today you are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are held. In whatever state you're in. So as you rest here, I invite you to ask Jesus what he would say to you today. As you rest in your sacred ordinary. And maybe that's a message that can be heard now. Maybe that's a message that will take time to unfold and unfurl, unravel. But going back to Ann Voscamp's statement that above the clouds the light is always shining, and for that we give thanks. So coming out of this pose this morning, you can take your hands underneath the outsides of your knees and draw your knees slowly together in center. And then stretching one leg out long on your mat, the other leg out long. And then if you like, taking a big stretch, arms overhead. And then guiding knees to chest, bring them in. Rock side to side, in whatever way feels comfortable for you this morning. And then making your way over onto one side, right or left, whatever feels best. And from there, pressing up slowly to sitting. And we'll take hands to heart. So we've gone all the way today from our sipping tea and giving thanks for the incarnational nature of our faith. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, smelling, as Jesus did, as God did, as He came to us in a body. He knows our pain. He knows suffering. He assures us that He uses suffering in some mysterious way for the highest good. So I'll share with you again our psalm for today. Praise be to you. Praise the beloved, O my soul. I will praise you with all my being. I will sing joyfully and with thanksgiving to you, heart of my heart. Put not your trust in riches, in illusory things that fade away. For when our day comes to depart this world, at that very time, we carry only the love imprinted upon our soul. Blessed are those whose strength is in the beloved, whose trust is in you, O divine lover. You lift up the faint-hearted, giving succor to those who weep. You watch over those on journey, sending guides and angels to lead the way. Oh, that we might become beacons of light to those in darkness. May you, who live forever in our hearts, loose the fetters of fear that bind us, that we might praise you always with free and joyful song. May it be so. Thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful and joyous Thanksgiving. Thanks be to God. Shalom. So I hope you'll continue practicing with me through Advent and the Christmas holiday. And we'll see you next time. I love you. Thank you.